I used to think that getting a kidney transplant would be the hardest part, but I was wrong. No one prepared me for what happens after the transplant. The fatigue, the constant fear of rejection, especially in the beginning, the side effects from the medication, and just the general now what part. This channel is for people like me and possibly people like you. Aloha and welcome to my new channel. I'm Gina Marisa. I am a kidney transplant recipient for over 30 years and a transplant wellness specialist. And I help high achieving post kidney transplant individuals to rebuild their energy, optimize their health, and reclaim their strength. So, about 31 years ago, I learned that I would need a kidney transplant. I was actually seeing another doctor, and in the course of his workup, he did an X-ray of my kidneys and discovered that he couldn't help me anymore. And so he sent me to a nephrologist, and the nephrologist is the one who told me that eventually I was going to need a kidney transplant. He basically said I was born with my kidneys this way and that they worked for me for the first, 20 years of my life. And at some point, they will not work anymore. So I was super lucky that I found out beforehand that I was going to need a transplant. And I was also lucky enough to not have to go on dialysis. My transplant was actually scheduled. And I was fortunate enough that my dad gave me one of his kidneys. Both of my parents were a half match. And so between the two of them, they decided that my dad would be the one to donate. And it was quite a shock. You can imagine being in your early 20s and hearing that you're going to need to have this major surgery, this major life-changing event is happening in your life. And I went through the surgery okay. I was very well prepped for that, but I felt like afterwards, other than, getting my meds and, my schedule of follow-up appointments, I didn't really have any other guidance after that. There was no particular information out there, and I just decided pretty much from day one that I would do whatever I could to keep my kidney as healthy as possible. And at some point decided that I wanted to be the longest lived kidney transplant recipient. So I'm not there yet. There are people who are 20, 10 years, 10 to 20 years ahead of me. And, but that is a goal of mine. And what I did after that was I just dove head in and I researched the heck out of health and wellness and what I needed to do to stay healthy and keep my kidney strong and going because kind of a big deal. My dad gave me one of his kidneys. It's certainly not, something um, that just anybody does. I am a big proponent of organ donation, obviously, but it's still kind of a big deal. It's a major surgery for him as well. So, but once I started learning and all of the things that could keep me healthy and have kept me strong 31 years later, I just had a passion for sharing it with others. And I, went from just, surviving day to day to really thriving and living my life. And it's an amazing life, I have to say. So what really no one tells you is that healing after a transplant is just as emotional, spiritual, and mental as it is physical. And this is the gap that I see in the current medical system. Like I said, I was handed paperwork with my meds and a follow-up appointment schedule, and then I was on my own, like crickets, nothing. So, but there's obviously more to it, and we need to support um, the whole person. And that's something that I believe is lacking in our current medical system. So, things like when you're experiencing chronic fatigue, or how to manage stress, or integrating, a healthy lifestyle. And then there's just a lack of tailored self-care for transplant life. And so this is where I see allopathic medicine fail, and it's why I've decided to help other transplant recipients like me. So I will tell you that I have a big vision. So my mission is to help 100 kidney transplant recipients this year, 2025. I realize we're in August now, but it's my big mission. And I want to help them find their way back to wholeness via body, mind, and spirit. And I'm not just talking about that surviving from day to day. I'm talking about thriving in life, really living, doing the things that you love, and having joy and energy, purpose, and peace. And so, how will I do that? Well, I'm so glad you asked. In order to achieve that mission, I have several offers. And the first one is a private Telegram community called Vibrant Transplant Lifestyle, where we talk about self care routines that are simple, how to eat for energy, focus, and calm, the power of the pause. I'm a big proponent of rest. Super, super important. Mindfulness for busy, healing bodies, and gentle ways to move your body so you can really connect with your new kidney. And then I also have a 5-day energy reset, which is just $17. That's delivered via email. And so every day for 5 days, you'll receive a short video where you'll learn simple techniques that will have you energized and ready for your day. I also have a group program, Thrive After Transplant, a 4-week plan for energy, emotional resilience, and strength. This is going to be weekly coaching, gentle fitness, food planning, and nervous system healing. So that's basically stress management. And then I also have one-to-one coaching. So I have a 3-week package and I have a 3-month package. This will be customized lifestyle and mentorship. I do love alliteration, but apparently I can't speak it. This will include a health assessment, nourishment guidance, energy and mindset tips, all tailored for you and your lifestyle. So, through gentle movement, essential oils, nourishment, meditation, and daily practices that don't require more time, I help you to thrive. Sorry, I have a cat and she has a lot of hair. On this channel, I will be sharing simple wellness tools, practices, and inspiring stories for life after your transplant so that you never have to feel like you have to figure it out alone like I did. So, whether you're 1 year out, 1 month out, 10 years out, or just trying to make sense of this new chapter in your life, this is the right place for you. So, if any of this resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe here and be a part of this journey. I'll be showing up weekly with real, helpful, and heartfelt content. And if you know another kidney transplant recipient, I'd love for you to share this video with them because in community, we are stronger. And just to make it a little fun, when you share this video anytime within the next 7 days, you'll be entered to win a special surprise from me. So, if you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving, hit that subscribe button because your second chance deserves more than just getting by.